One of our greats passed away today. It's Anthony. This is You Are Not Alone. I want to talk to you about Stephen Hawking and talk to you about his legacy and what it truly means to fight, and why a lot of us are simply just, whining about silly problems. Stephen Hawking, if you don't know him, I'd probably say look him up, do some research. There's a lot of things he's done in his life. Big scientist, world renowned, worked on black holes a lot, worked on unifying Einstein's theories of relativity, a lot of different things that he's touched. I would definitely suggest you take the time, read up on some of his ideas, some of his writings. But today we're going to focus more on his why he passed away and what it really means for saying someone can keep going. He died of, I'm going to say it's totally, I'm going to try to say it correctly and see how we do. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and it's a neurodegenerative disease. Essentially, over time, you kind of degenerate to nothing. You kind of lose certain abilities to move and speak. Most people die within the first 5 years of getting this, based on if you go look to research and look deeper into the disease. Most people will die at 5 years. Stephen Hawking was told he had two, and that was at the age of 21. He died at 76. He died, let's do some math here, 55 years later than they said he was going to die. He was given 2 years. He lasted 55 years. Not only that, became a public speaker and wrote a book. And he was using a wheelchair to get around and a machine to talk. You can't tell me that you can't make it, do whatever you have to do, whether it's in sales and you got to walk around the street and knock on some doors and try to make some sales, or you're a business administrator and you got to learn how to manage your time better. The man couldn't even walk, and he's going to do more than most of us ever will, no matter how hard we try. So, going back to what that really means and what it means for us as individuals, most of us are just whining. We're either not tough enough skinned, or we want to make an excuse that we don't get something done. You really can't do that. You got people like him walking around, even doing half of what he did would be amazing. It's not like you got to be truly epic. You don't have to write a book about the brief history of time. That's his book he wrote. It's amazing. I'd say read it. I have it in my library. Don't understand most of it. He's definitely a little over the head at times, but definitely worth a shot if you want to dive into some science and math a bit. Definitely an enjoyable attempt. But look back at it and say, why am I not doing more? If he can do that with what he was given, with how his lot was decided before, like, he didn't choose to have the disease. He didn't choose to not be able to walk or hardly have the ability to speak. But instead of wallowing away a couple years later, 55 years. He fought for do I have to do, how many times can I say that? Before you get it, before I get it. You're not alone. Before I get it. Why don't I get up at 8 a.m. and work my first job more? Why don't I work harder to make sure that I get to those goals I want financially, to help the people that I believe need what I have to offer? What right do I have not to at this point? To help, at least try to help humanity progress. I haven't talked about it yet, but my large goal is to open up a lab for one of my friends so he doesn't have to deal with having to apply for grants. That's going to be millions of dollars. It's going to be a huge goal. And the way I'm working now, it's not going to happen. So I challenge all of you. I challenge myself. Look deep. Why aren't you doing what you want to do to make what you want happen? Why aren't you achieving what you believe is your greatness? Don't achieve someone else's greatness, just yours. Whether that's getting a solid job, working 9 to 5, and loving your family for the rest of the night, or learning to go real deep into one of your hobbies. Whatever it is, read into Stephen Hawking, look at his life, see what he had to go through to survive, then look back at yourself and say, why not? Why am I not doing what I need to get done? I will do the same thing with you. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to talk to anyone. Let's get you through those tough spots. You are not alone. This is Anthony Smith. Looking forward to the conversations, and I'll talk to you all soon.